Hey guys, Kid Sims here. Guess what we got today? So we're having our prep week, and man, we've got the OG of preps here to talk about prep today. So man, I can think of 2021 when we started in Vegas, and we started. Everybody kind of saw what prep was like, and I think yours was the Gremlin Goo, and and some Beetlejuice was about the only preps out there at that time. But
Yeah,
first, let me introduce the man, the legend, Mr. Kelly Ray. Also, this is the guy that he now. I don't know why you stopped, but he used to be the guy that ran that Beetle bug car that was always so cool to see that thing hauling butt. He changed
it's
it up,
coming.
bodies up a little bit, but now he's rocking and rolling. But man, thank you for coming on today, and let's talk some prep from the OG prep maker, man. So let's go back, and it was you and Jay, right? Am I thinking that right? It was you and Jay back in the day that came out, with the stuff. Am I thinking that right?
Yeah, let's go back. We got to go back. Let's see, 2.5 years, I guess it would be. When I met Jay, I hadn't been racing. I got COVID when it first came out, before they even had tests for it, and I was sick for 2 weeks. I'd met Curtis Harris from Off the Wall Drag Racing in Yuma, racing oval cars at the velodrome. So he and I got to be friends immediately. And I was recovering a little. He said, "Hey, I'm going out to Arizona drag racing. I'm going to bring you a car. Just show up. I'm going to let you play with this drag stuff." Now, up till that point, I honestly tried not to laugh that, "Oh, yeah, you're drag racing. Oh, a little toy car goes straight. Oh, he's telling me he's got this badass tree and timer and all this." And I'm kind of like, I was turned off. I mean, like, I've been in RC since the 80s. And I'm like, that doesn't sound like fun. Well, I was so sick, I needed to get out of the house. So I show up, and I just happened to bring a bottle of Beetlejuice with me that I was using on the velodrome rubber tires. And I'm like, he's got his little slash, and it was like a 2.5 car, every pass 2.5. And it
Right.
had those big funny car tires on it with the yellow writing, the
Yep.
trackless wheels. I said, "Hey, can I put some of this on your tires if you're gonna let me run?" He goes, "I don't. It's not gonna hurt them, is it?" I said, "No, no. Let's try it." So I sauced up the tires. He gave me the car. I kind of watched Mark Vine and Jay and all those guys doing their burnouts, and I'm like, "Well, shit, I could do this." So I go up, do a big burnout. Feels good. Set the car down, pull the trigger on the green light. That thing pulls a wheel stand for like 30 feet and goes right down the middle. And I was hooked. And I turned to 240, and that car had never been 240 ever. And he's like, "Son of a, give me some of that." So he put some on his other car. And pretty soon I started sharing it with Frank Greer. Then I went to Jay's group. He was AZ Grudge. So now I build the bug. I got this new carbon chassis. I got this Hobby Wing 8.5 turn motor and a Tican ESC, and I got the perfect scale car, and I'm going to go have fun. Well, it wasn't so fun because I couldn't get that damn thing to go straight for the life of me. And that was when we were running. They were running. Mark was taping tires. Frank was taping tires, and I think they were J Concepts. And Jay Conway was using DEs. He was king of the DE tire back then. And
Yep.
I kept blowing the tire, couldn't get it to go. And Abel Lips said, "Hey, I've been putting that Beetlejuice on these reactions. Put these reactions on your car." And I'd already been eliminated, so I was a little depressed. And I put these reactions on my car and laid the first straight pass the Beetle ever did. And I never looked back. Then I bought labels, and I started selling it to them. And then the reaction tire became popular because we figured out, Frank Greer, Mark, myself, I finally talked them into putting the reactions on that I had conditioned with Beetlejuice. And then the reaction tire thing took off. And that's pretty much, well, then I met Jay. Later on, Jay and I became friends. And he had used Beetlejuice and he had his own gremlin goo because he would spray 10 feet of the track with some type of prep that he mixed up.
Right.
That agreed with gremlin goo, and then he would sell gremlin goo out of his tailgate and kind of support the DTS system he had. And so time went on and we got faster, and then I got pretty quick chasing Mark and Frank and, you know, all the other fast guys, but I laid down some good times with the bug. I think back then it was a 220. You were fast.
Yeah.
In fact, I think James Dibble won Oklahoma 2 years ago at a 220, right, but he blew us away with mile an hour. He was like 74 miles an hour.
Yeah, I remember that, man. That opened everybody's eyes.
Yeah, I spent $3,000 on the way back with Mark Vine buying R1 shit. I had all this new tuning, timing, and shit. I still don't understand all of it. I'm still learning it, but so now here we are. Jay and I, well, we were coming up on Vegas, and I called Alan Hinchman, who I bought Sticky Icky from eventually. I said, Alan, I need the stickiest shit that you can come up with. These guys got this stuff, and I got to have something for Vegas. I don't care what it is. Just give me something. So he sends me a box of 12 bottles. I had just enough time to get it out to my local guys, Abel, Jay. I even gave some to Mark and Frank, anybody I could. Well, they didn't use it as much as Jay and I did. And Jay had trouble getting his Arma car down the track. It wouldn't go. I said, let me put some bug guts on it. He said, okay. So we put bug guts on the foam car, and that thing went right down the middle. And now Jay was just setting up his timing system for Mark and us to go to Vegas 2 years ago. So I said, Jay, let's put some bug guts on your car. He goes, I said, do you mind? Because I was kind of like, I didn't want to offend him because he's right, Mr. Goo. So I'm like, have you tried it yet? He's like, no. I said, well, you know, hey, I'm not going to push you, but can we try it? And he said, okay. He put his car down and did, I think, his first 2.0 pass ever on the clock. He was like, holy crap. Well, then I'm looking at the times that Mark and Frank and I are running, Christopher Shorts, all the guys, and we're laying down some passes, and Jay is right there with us. I'm like, Jay, you got to go to Vegas.
Yeah.
Nah. So I talked him into going to King of the Streets. Now, I only had enough guts left for a small group of us. And that was Chris, me, RJ, and Jay. Well, Jay went back to his goo in the first Vegas one, which everybody knows that track we couldn't get down if our life depended on it.
Yeah.
But the bug guts was working. So secretly, the people that turned down my offers of testing, I didn't tell them, but there was 5 of us running guts and really well. Jay came to me after about 2 rounds of practice, and maybe his first round, he said, Kelly, what do I do? I can't get past the half. And I looked at him, and again, I didn't want to offend him because now we're in race mode. This is when you got to go. I'm like, I got to help him, but I don't want to offend him. So I'm like, hey, what are you running? He says the Tican. I said, okay, RX-8. Yeah. I said, have you tried the guts today? He kind of went, no. I said, well, do you want to? You want me to show you how? And he's like, dude, I don't know what to do. You got to do something. So we went over. First, we looked at his ESC, made a couple minor changes that I had learned on the RX-8. And I said, now let's put some guts on it.
Right.
Well, that was the start of him going all day long, straight as an arrow. He should have won the race. That he would have won it had his Savox not failed going into the semis. He took 4th. But he was laying, and he had the B5 chassis, just an old Associated chassis with bug guts, and he was laying it down. and he should have won. He beat some really fast guys, and then that's when I said, okay, I have a product that I can take to market, because I won't sell anything that doesn't work.
Right.
I'm not about the money. Yes, this is what I do for a living at the moment. But all of this stuff you see right here, it all works in one form of racing or another. Some of them cross over. And then I called Alan one day for more, and he goes, hey, why don't you just buy Sticky Icky? And I'm like, what? And I was on my way to Jay's house. I'm like, what? I can't do that. I don't have that kind of money. What the hell am I going to do? I mean, they've been in business since 2015, and I considered them famous. I'm like, oh, crap. I said, well, he goes, I'll work something out with you. So I said, well, shoot. So threw me a curveball. I show up at Jay's and I said, Jay, get on over here. Let's chat for a minute.
All right.
I said, would you be interested in coming in with me, and we merge Guts and Goo and Beetlejuice all together, and we buy Sticky Icky, and you and I merge as a group, you know? And he thought about it for a few minutes. He said, well, I don't know the details, but I want to see if you're on board before I go negotiate. Right. So I set up a meeting with Alan, Jay and I, and Anna. We all met. He offered us a killer deal. So we bought Sticky Icky. And Jay handled most of the shipping and all that up front. And it just got to be too much work. He got COVID, and I'm the other guy complaining, oh, God, Jay, we got to ship stuff. So he's like, hey, man, this is too much work. I'm going to go back to my big car stuff. And he gave me Sticky Icky back. And God bless him for that. He's a good guy, and I love him. I miss racing with him, but that's how I got to own Sticky Icky.
And then now you, like I said, you've got all the prep products, but also you're selling batteries. I've got a couple of batteries from you. You got I saw you were selling Castle Motors too the other day. So
I got the Castle dealer agreement.
You're becoming a one-stop shop for some of these guys out here. I mean, so. Definitely, if you're needing something, you want to check out, go check out Sticky Icky and can give Kelly a call. My experience, like I said, in Vegas, I started the first time I put any kind of prep on was Goo, and that was 2021 in Vegas. A friend of mine, y'all may know him, Brian from Hot Bands, and
Elkins, Brian, yeah.
My mind I was like, I wanted to say elk, but I knew that wasn't right. So, and he's probably going to kill me. But yeah, Brian, man, good friend of mine. We're both from Florida. He goes, you need to try something. You need to put something on your car. And he's like, go, we'll try this. I did it, and boom. I'm like, okay, that did. So I went and bought a bottle, put it on, and then I've been using it. So, and then you came out with a product that I really, really like, and that's the Cherry Bomb.
Yes, Cherry Bomb. That was my making. That I got in the lab and I started messing around to modify for what you guys were looking for, and the tires were changing. So I got lucky. Honestly, I was just throwing stuff together one day, and I tried it on my own. I tried it on the oval car. I tried it on foam tire, rubber tire, and I went, wow. And then I sent it to Alan, who's the one that invented all of these other ones, the other 9 that I have.
Right.
And I said, hey, give this to your oval team and give me your honest opinion before I sell this one on the market. He was like, what the hell did you put in there? He goes, that stuff is awesome. So that's all they use now on their rubber and foam tire oval stuff, clay, dirt. And that one can go on any rubber tire or any foam tire. And I love it too. That's the first thing I do is I still use the original Beetlejuice, but most of the stuff that I do, 2 coats of Cherry Bomb when I get a new tire after it's been scuffed. And like we talked about this a long time ago, I didn't used to scuff them, but I have gone to scuff. And when I mean scuffing, I mean lightly scuffing. So I scuff them, clean them again, then a couple coats of cherry bomb, and then I put them away until race day, and then it's either guts or goo. Or sometimes if the track is not there, I go old school. I'll be the first one to go old school, Beetlejuice or cherry bomb, simple green in between runs. And I was able to TQ in Yuma at a rough track. I went 190 on a dry tire with Beetlejuice on a
Yep.
reaction. They couldn't get down with prep at 2:0 something. I mean, I wasn't that much faster, but 190 compared to a 199, and that was dry tire.
Yep. Like I said, so upstate this year, earlier this year, there was something was on the track. Either it was pollen or something. And if you had any kind of prep on your tire, you in the first inch, you were gonna just John Force light them up. You know,
Yeah.
so it was funny too. I mean, I was struggling all day and couldn't figure out what was going on. And I mean, I'm putting the lighter and lighter and lighter coats, and finally I did a burnout after I cleaned my tires, and I was still grabbing. And I'm like, well, at this point, I'm not hurting anything because you did about 3 feet and did a figure eight. So I came back and I burned the tire, but it still had. Well, I said, well, let me just make a pass with it right now. It ain't gonna hurt anything. And then,
Mm-hmm.
boom, straight as an arrow and super fast. So then, of course, I've been constantly that whole day turning my car down, like everybody was. So now you're quickly trying to turn it back up, uh,
Yeah.
and I got there, but didn't get there fast enough. But yeah, so I mean, that is a great trick for some of you guys that are um, is having problems with the prep. Sometimes back up, you know, uh,
Yes.
and try something like that. And because and one of the tricks that I was taught too is it's almost like pulling your wheelie bar off your car to find the problems with your car. Because a guy told me that too. If you're having problems, your car's doing weird things, pull your wheelie bar off. That's gonna unhide, unmask all your problems right there. You're going to see immediately what your car is doing it and when it's doing it. Your wheelie bar is hiding, as a crutch more or less. The same thing, with the prep. The prep can be a little bit of a clutch. You're not, it's hiding maybe an issue or moving it to a different part of the track that you're not seeing. So it never hurts to step back, and I'm not
Right.
I wouldn't do it, and I would definitely wouldn't do it in the middle of a race, but you can try it, while you're testing, step back and do a just a conditioned tire pass, and I tell you what, we after I finished that race with just a conditioned tire, that was the best set of tires that I had, because they were so sanded in, and it killed me the day that they blew. I blew up on them, but yeah, man, it's like so. It's always good to just step back and look at it, but you know this is the Sticky Icky, Kelly Ray, and in the beginning it was Jay Conway. Man, they were the OGs of the prep game. Because when we walked in, because a lot of us when we walked into Vegas, we weren't too far away from the fact that we had just at that point gone to where we could use prep. If I mean,
Right.
some of the guys the guys that are taking this prep for granted, back in the day, it was if you got caught some of the races, if you got caught with simple green in your pit, you were
Well,
kicked.
yeah, we,
You know,
it wasn't me, but I would say Arizona. I guess we weren't cheating. We were
no,
just conditioning and doing what we had done in the 80s. And anybody that been in any form of racing, big car, small car, they're doing something to their tire. You don't just grab a tire out of the bag usually
right,
and go, although you can.
yeah, and a lot
But
of guys that didn't know, me for instance, I had no clue. I came. like a lot of people that came into our MPRC through. Believe it or not, I was freaking watching videos and saw guys up in Canada building a Nova out of a Slash, or an old Slash.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote down every part number and then got on the computer and ordered everything up, and I built my first car, and I kept, it'd go 6 feet and turn hook a left and go tumbling through the neighbor's yard, and
Yeah.
like, what am I doing wrong? And then the people are like, well, did you try blowing the street any? Because I see a ton of rocks. Oh, okay. Help.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've had a lot of help along the way, and but the prep when it came in, because like I said, a lot of these guys that when prep came to be as part of our allowed rules, um, a lot of the guys, that wasn't you nice, like you said, it wasn't cheating. They knew, but they knew where they could go.
Well, they would ban the air. They told us when we went to Northern California is like, they would tell us on Facebook, called us out and said, you Arizona guys, if you come up here, you can't use Simple Green. We got baby wipes supplied, and that's it.
Yep.
So you know me. In fact, this is a set of the tires that I took, but one of them on the left, this is a true original, no prep. I don't know if you can hear that.
Oh,
and this is one that's about 2 years old that's got goo on it. But you pick one and you can still see the line in the other one.
Oh yeah.
So I used the baby wipes. I got outran by I think it was Christopher Ramirez, that old S10 truck, but both of us did the fastest pass we had ever done with no prep. And then we fought. I wouldn't say we fought, but we were on Facebook for months of saying people are cheating. Yes, there were. We saw it. I wasn't. I was using Beetlejuice conditioning.
Yeah.
So, and I had the preps. I had the goo in the guts. So we kind of rallied and said, "Come on, man, you can't police it. Even us, I had some tricks up my sleeve. I didn't use them, but I knew they were there."
Right.
And finally, the groups gave in and said, "Fine, okay, let's do prep."
Right.
Adam Webb is one of them in Utah. They finally approved prep, I think 6 months ago, not very long ago.
Yeah.
And now they're all sub too, and they forgot that they were the ones fighting the no prep thing, and now they can't buy enough prep.
I remember when the 2021 rules came out, and when Tim Smith podcast, he announced them. I think they were posted, and then he announced them and talked about them. And when everybody saw them, and they talked about, we're going to allow prep. We're like, no, but it's, it's like you just said, oh, by the way, you have to run your cars upside down. That's the way you have to run your car now. You might as well have said that. And
it broke the internet.
Just as funny. So it would have been with just as big of an uproar.
Yeah.
And so it was, and then you're like, so then you're trying to figure out, okay, so now I can use prep. And I granted, now it was a little while before they let us use prep down here in Florida. Because James, he had the 1/8 scale cars, and he would run them on a completely different track, just so it wouldn't goo up our the no prep track. So and then and you know how things evolved. It wasn't super sticky in the beginning, and then now we're full on. Maple syrup on your cars. And
well, that's got me a little. I don't know. I'm a little upset about that part because it's a prep track. It doesn't take long. It turned into a full prep track. So now I'm in the lab. I'm making prep to stick on prep.
Yeah.
Before my stuff was made to stick on concrete and asphalt.
Bare concrete. Yep.
Yeah, I got some stuff in there. And I got some of Jay's original Gremlin goo prototype. So we're in the lab. But with that said, we have, with the help of Jorge and Peter Perino in San Diego, a couple of my teammates, my main testers, and Abel, we have figured out though how to run the guts and the goo, and Bob Hamilton's another one. We did it
Nice.
successfully in Wisconsin. Unfortunately, I got sick. I had a top 10 car on the first pass, lost the radio, crashed it into the field and broke it. And then I was broken already because I was sick. I don't know if I had COVID or what, but I was sicker than a dog. And
Yeah,
after
I heard you were here, and then I heard you were gone. I didn't even get a chance to come say hi.
Jay helped me put a tune in the castle. I laid down the fastest pass I've ever done in NPRC, and I was smiling from ear to ear. And then I let off the trigger. I literally had a grin on my face at 3/4 track. My ghost car just was gone. I was like, oh yeah, I'm ready. And then I let off the trigger, and you could probably hear me on Scotty's video. Oh shit, no brakes, off, beep, 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 beep.
Beep, beep,
And
beep.
it went off the end at 85 miles an hour into that field, and I watched it go 6 feet in the air. And I think I said every cuss word quietly walking down the thing. And that just took the wind out of me. I parked the car, started packing my stuff when the driver's meeting was going on. I said, oh God, this is a hell of a long drive to go home early. But moral of that story is it's Bob Hamilton, myself, and a couple others that I got sick and I didn't even get to see my customers. They were all doing great times on Gremlin goo over the top of those snail trails. So it works. Sticky Icky works, and so does some of the other preps. But the thing about prep and the thing about your chassis, which you covered a little bit, is don't just look over at I'm just going to use Mark and Frank for an example. You can't just look over at their pits after they do a 1.6 pass and go, oh, I got to use this, or I've got to use that tire. Right. You've got to look at the whole picture, which is, you said it, number one thing I go for, check the wheelie bar. If your car won't go past 20 feet, check the wheelie bar.
Yep.
Then look at your tires, not the prep you have on your tires. Did a belt blow? Do you have something hanging up that made the car? You got to go down a checklist of, is it wheelie bar? Is it tires? Is it rear shocks? Is it ride height? Did I point the car wrong? Did something break? Those are all the things you've got to look at before you just say, oh, hell, the prep didn't work.
Right, yeah.
And the other one that I do this, I've been doing it a long time, is I get excited, or I wouldn't do this. My nerves get up. I'm trying to think, focus, and we forget stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Like, forgot to put the body pins on, and you're on one of your best passes, and the body ejects. Now I haven't done that, but my friends have. I've done other stupid stuff that I'd rather not say in person, but
I got a great one. My battery came Velcroed right in the year before last at Super Chips, right there in front of God and everybody.
If I was there, I'd slap you.
And shot it out the back.
That's my pet peeve is batteries, guys. This is a prep thing, but just put just one piece of tape and the Velcro. Put everything you can on there.
Yeah.
Because I've crashed cars at 75 miles an hour, and my batteries have stayed in the car. Now, the car was totaled.
Yep.
And if there was a G meter in it, the driver would have died on impact. In fact, in the early days, the crash test dummy stopped riding in my car. He wouldn't even participate anymore. He's like, I'm out. He went to California. And but yeah, check all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then you have to say, were those preconditioned tires? Were those new tires? What did I put enough prep on?
Right.
And now you got to tweak the prep. That's why I came out with Gremlin Goo 2. Actually, it was because of you guys. Some of the teammates in the South and the East Coast is how Bug Guts 2 and Gremlin Goo 2. Now, those are not reformulated products. Those are additives added in at request of racers on the East Coast to dry
Okay.
faster and thinner so you guys could layer it. So
Okay.
that's how those two came. Same stick, but you literally, and judging by the amount of prep I saw some guys put in this, I don't know, it's red, but I had the first red, but they had one hell of a layer of glue on their tires. So
I
if you're using mine and you got a
I witnessed, you know, and I probably did it too. So, you know, I know at one point I put 4 coats on one tire, and then you realize, oh no, you don't need that. You don't need that. That's way too. Yeah, the track's already taken.
well, now get this though, with the if you're running on that glue track, right?
Yeah.
I did figure out though, it took 2 coats of regular Bug Guts because, and now I stood there and beat my head against my table watching in Utah. And I'm like, wait a minute, what is going on? I know my car is a 1.8 car for 132 feet. It's done it for 3 months.
Yeah.
Nothing has happened to the car. And there's glue on the track, and I can't get past 100 feet. So that's when I said, uh-oh, I know what's going on. There was so much glue on the track, and I had a hot tune in it because of the traction on the start.
Yep.
It was using the prep up or removing some of my prep before it got to the finish line. So
Yeah.
me and Abel put 2 coats of Bug Guts on. What do you know? Right down Broadway, no slippage, gone.
Yeah.
And a kid treated me, and hats off to him. It was a .005 victory.
Yeah.
But he laid the fastest pass he had ever done. I laid the fastest for that day, and I honestly didn't turn it up enough. I thought, okay, I'm going to get past this kid, no problem. I know it's
yeah. Those are the ones that get.
I didn't know he was going to pull that. He took it like he was racing John Force, and him and his dad put all that DRK had. I know they let some of the smoke out of it during that run.
Right.
And
Up the 120 mark, right?
yeah, whatever Colin says don't do, they did it. And he treated me a little. So yeah, they outrun me. So hats off to that kid. I think it was Steven, but anyway, great race. It was door to door. And that's when we figured out that, okay, if we're going to run on that much glue, you got to layer it up.
Yeah. Okay.
You got to have some prep left at 132 feet.
That makes a lot of sense.
Now, where that line is on your chassis, your setup, or what tires you're using that day, that's a crapshoot. You're going to have to email me and tell me, or say, hey, I was on this surface using silver voodoos, or I was on sweeps. That's where you, the racer, is going to have to nail it. And please share if you find out something that our products. I'll take feedback all the time. I'm an open book. My Facebook is always open, sometimes too late, 3, 4 in the morning. Hell, I've talked to you when I haven't went to bed yet, and you're just waking up having coffee.
Right? Yeah, we had several conversations about my time.
And then I look and I'm like, oh my God, it's 4 o'clock. He's probably got to go to work. I need to go to bed. But yeah.
You were Paul Peterson that I always talk to at early in the morning. And y'all are both been up. I'm just getting up for work.
Yeah, I've sold a lot of prep at 4 in the morning.
Yeah, right.
It's to your side of the country. In fact, I sent some to Florida today, and what do you know? Beetlejuice. So somebody, I don't recognize the name, but somebody's got a dry tire plan, or he's figured out that the Beetlejuice is the pre-prep.
Yeah.
He bought 4 bottles of it.
Oh wow, cool.
So somebody's going to be faster next week.
Yep. So, what's the future? What's the future hold for Sticky Icky?
I'm going to win one of these damn things and put a bottle of nice prep on the front. I'm not going to do it. I hope that one of our teammates or anybody in the U.S. running Sticky Icky puts this bottle on their hood with a stack of cash. And that's about the only time where I will come on Monday morning and say, neener, told you, ha ha. you know.
Uh, well,
So yeah, that's the plan, and I'm still working with stuff.
I
I'm
think got the best logo of. I really love the logo, the ghost theme, and logo. I've always loved your products. You know, we're good friends. Like I said, we've talked forever. Um, man, and you only expect good things, man. Like I said, for your guys. Um, and Kelly and Kelly not only sells the prep, which he sells a bunch of them, but he handles the batteries. He's a quick supplier for batteries, man. I think I ordered my batteries from you. I all the way across the country, and I think I got them within 3 or 4 days, man. It was stupid, crazy fast, and
I gotta plug the batteries while you mention. I know this is a
yeah,
prep thing, but it's slowed down, but that's because we're more expensive. But just yesterday, I've only had maybe 10 batteries warranted in a year out of 700 packs. Max Amp still, in my opinion, is the best pack. People have got them compared to the wrong number of MAs when they say, I'm not going to name the names, but the other packs that are out there that are
right,
cheaper. Yeah, they're holding more voltage, but they're comparing them to a 5800 that so a year ago or a 6300.
right,
Our tunes are up here, and those batteries, like I sold you and a lot of other guys, they're down here. Now that's a 13.5 battery or a VXL.
yeah,
It's no longer an
yeah,
outlaw battery. It's still one of the best batteries on the market, but not for 400 amps.
right. Now
So
we're draining those things.
yeah, you got to run an 8400 or our 10P. That's 10,008 mah. Yes, this one company has 15,000 or whatever. Well, me and there's a couple of fast guys that they don't use them anymore, but that's because they're sponsored by the other. But we found it's not about the mah. It's about the little gas tanks in there and how fast they can dump.
How fast they can dump.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and the stuff I sell might be 50, maybe 50, $60 more. But if you get a $200 battery warranted with no questions asked and one is in your box in 3 days, I think it's worth that.
Man, dude, in fact, one of the stories I love to tell about Max Amps, I had this very thing. So if, and I'm going to tell on myself, and if they go, hey, well, we want their money now, then fine. But so I got my iCharger and everything. I'm like, oh well, I'm gonna charge my. I need to go ahead and cycle these batteries, and they were starting to get puffy to begin with, man. And they were the little bitty stick ones that when we had, when we first started, and
The 2900,
huh?
the little tiny one.
Yeah, 4,500, I think they were.
Oh, 4350.
Yeah, and and my first thing, I footballed that thing. So I said, hey, and I had, I knew the guys over there, and I said, hey, I told them what I did. I charged, hey, I, I, charged it hot, and this is what happened. He goes, well, it still shouldn't have done that. He said, well, send it, he actually didn't tell us. He goes, so you got, we'll credit both of them. And he said, and what they basically, they go, you need this. And so they upgraded me free of charge and gave me a Max Amp shirt to boot. I mean,
Yeah,
so service on Max Amps is I cannot complain at all. Um,
no. And
uh,
I do gearboxes. I kind of think it's one of my specialties. I build chassis, but not as much as I used to. But I still build gearboxes. This will be the next.
Woo!
This will be the next creation for the castle. That's going to be an all steel associated box for the
Nice.
B5M. And I'm actually going to put one in my car. I run the MIP, but I'm going to run the 4 gear because of all the torque this R1 and the castle has. And in my head, in my theory, is 4 gears. Those other two idlers are going to have less pressure on each other.
Yeah.
And I think we've got enough horsepower behind the new motors to push one more gear. And it really doesn't weigh that much.
Right.
But it's going to be all steel diff, two twin Robinson Racing idlers. That's one of the only ones I use. And it'll be the new associated top shaft with Witz bearings. And it's going to be a tough gearbox. I got two of them, so those are going to go for sale. And I can sell anything. I'm a vendor for Macklin, Tekin, GFRP, Custom Works, Max Amps, now Castle.
Wow, nice.
So, I mean, I don't do that to make a ton of money, but if somebody can't find the part or can't, just the simple thing that I pride myself on is customer communication.
Yep.
You can reach me damn near any time, even when I'm in bed with COVID. I was still flying.
I can testify.
Yeah. So if like I had some people reaching out, they're like, God damn, that was fast. I'm like, well, this is kind of what I do. I'm on Facebook doing business, and and if I have the part hanging on the wall, I have a bunch of too many parts hanging on the wall. But I might have it in my box extra or on the wall, and I'll ship it the same day. So, I mean, it's not a discount. It's the same price you'd pay at A-Main, but I'll answer the email and I'll ship it the next day, or I'll ship it, priority.
Right.
Or I might know somebody like you that we just had a talk, and I can say, oh, wait, I think Kid Sim said he had some rims, so I've got a network where I can help somebody find stuff in a jam. And that's kind of what I do. I like helping racers.
Yep.
With that said, I was so sick, but I quarantined at my brother's in Michigan, didn't get to do anything. I hadn't seen him in 10 years. All I did was lay in the bed and look out the window at this beautiful lake, thinking I'm going to die in 2,200 miles from home. But I wanted to make sure that I got to Wisconsin safely and not give people COVID. So I took the medicine, tested negative. But Sean Genung was there doing his podcast.
Right.
And I wanted to get him to go sub 2.
Yeah.
And so I brought a motor, I brought the gears, I got him all set up Thursday. We had his car almost ready for a pass Thursday, but we ran out of time. We had help from Bob Hamilton that soldered a wire on because I was not all there, and I told him to cut the wires on his R1 too short. It's a good thing he did, though, because we found an issue when Bob was putting the 10 gauge on. But anyway, we got his car all done. I don't even know what kind of chassis that was, but I gave it a once over, and I just knew that it's going to go sub 2 first pass. So Friday, Friday, I wasn't feeling so good.
Yeah.
I got there and my brain was just everywhere.
Yeah.
And all I wanted to do was get Sean down the track. I didn't give a crap what happened to me. I mean, I was pretty much done.
Yeah.
But I knew my cars were 1/8, so I wasn't really worried about it. I went to Jay and I'm like, Jay, I got no clue how to tune this Castle. We got the gears on it. We got the right gears. We got everything, but dude, I don't know what the hell. I said, all I want to do is get Sean a 2 or better. He was like 2.3 was his fastest.
Right. Yeah.
So he goes, man, if I do 2.1, I'll be impressed. I'm like, oh no, we're gonna turn this bitch up. You're going sub 2 or you're gonna crash epically. So Jay grabs it, and Jay didn't even blink. He grabbed it with a smile. He goes, yeah, sure, no problem. He went in there. He was done in 5 minutes. And then I said, then I looked at him. I said, well, hello.
Yeah.
I got one of those in my car that he goes, I go, but I want a 116. He goes, trust me. He goes, just download his tune, put it in your car, and don't worry about it. And I didn't even worry about it. I trusted the man. He put a hell of a tune in it, and she did it.
Awesome.
Right until it crashed. But anyway, Sean went his first pass. He pulled the wheels a little bit. I put one light coat of guts on his car. I had no clue what his car was going to do. I just told him, line it up in the glue and cut a good light. Yeah. And he did. And it did this killer, real NASCAR or real funny car type wheel stand. Set the wheels down, was gone. Yeah. I was like, damn. Yeah, that looked like a sub 2. And he was all smiles. So I'm like, yay, okay, day's done. I suck, but he did good. He's smiling. So I crashed mine. I did run the catfish, my catfish with 2 coats of guts on it, and I turned it up. That was with a 3-turn and an R1. Holy crap! I've never seen my car ever do that. It did a full wheel stand, booty shake on the bar, dropped the nose, and checked out.
Yeah.
I was like, Colin Branch looked at it. He goes, God damn. He goes, I think I could hear the body and the tires shaking. It
Yeah.
just violently shook. And I was like, wow, that was pretty fast too, but a little crazy on the wheel stand.
Yeah. Right.
But then I went and changed tires on the other car to silver voodoos. And then I put the lightest coat of bug guts I've ever put on the car. And I cranked the wheelie bar down. I
Yeah.
tightened that thing up as tight as I could and sent it. Everything that the chassis mods I did worked and crashed. And then I packed my stuff and went back to the Airbnb. And now I'm watching Sean's first round. I'm like, okay, he's got a pretty good car. I don't know how far he's going to go because he gets nervous, but he just wanted to make a pass on a big national race. So I'm like, I got my fingers crossed. He does his car in the left lane. I don't know what was in the left lane. Now he prepped his tires himself. So I don't know how much was on there, but a lot. And the tune didn't change unless that motor changed or broke itself in. He pulled the trigger. It went out really nice for 10 feet. And then it stood up in the most violent wheel stand I've ever seen. Broke the wheelie bar.
Oh, man.
He had kind of I don't know what kind, but I put stiffer springs, made him stiffen the fluid in it, thinking it would help. It bent the bar back like this. The nose came up, ripped his quick release body mounts off. Oh. The car just went up in the air, blew the rotor out of the car because it was free spinning.
Right.
And he texts me back. I'm like, dude, you should have seen the slow-mo. I said, well, at least there's a killer slow-mo.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Well, at least I'm here and all that. And he tried to get another rotor, and he was getting frustrated because he'd spent a lot of money like everybody did.
Oh, I know.
And then he was a little bit down, and he was tired, and he gets back to the Airbnb that night. I'm like, man, I'm sorry I let you down. He goes, oh, no, man, I have fun. I got to do some podcasting. And he goes, fucking the damn R1, I smoked it. I'm like, oh, that happens, And I'm thinking there's $400 down the shitter, but he's still got a good attitude. And then he says, I got another motor, bought another one. I put it in, but yeah, it was cogging and all this. And I looked at him. I said, did you plug the sensor wire in? He goes, so he would have made the second round had he plugged the sensor wire in. But yeah, it really was a killer slow-mo.
Yeah. Well, man, when are you bringing when's the Beetle coming back out?
The Beetle is, I was going to turn it into it's set up right now on the shelf as, well, actually it's as a drag car right now, but it has a sand wheelie bar on it. I put a paint roller in between instead of having the regular wheels we use. So I put one of them soft foam paint roller wheels in there. In fact, the ones that we use to put the bug guts on.
Right. Yeah.
It slipped right over the damn axle. So it's got one of those on there. I put some paint on it so it looks like rubber. And I've got some paddle tires. And then I got looking at it again. I go, wait a minute, that was a fun car. And I still think I can break 2 with it. I think the fastest it ever went was 218 at 68 miles an hour.
Yeah. He said, I bet you could get it down. Well, I do appreciate you coming on here. It's been a great show. Finally, did you want to tell these people that are tuning in about Sticky Icky? They say the best prep and the best logo in the business, man. Well,
the shirts glow too.
Yeah, that's right. The best shirts too, because they glow in the dark.
No, there's one thing for the promoters. If they're worried about losing their racing spot due to the snail trails, just use a prep like mine, since this is sticky icky, use Beetlejuice, Cherry Bomb, and Gremlin Goo and Bug Guts will not ruin your spot for Monday morning when the landlord comes in and kicks you out of a good race spot.
Right.
And just have fun. And if you got any input you want me to know, please send me messages on Facebook, friend request me. Put something in a friend request though, so I know who it is.
Yeah.
And hit me up anytime. I'll try to help any way I can and have fun and don't talk shit on Facebook.
Exactly. Amen.
Yep.
That's we all need to do. We all need to hear that very clear.
Yeah, I did it a long time ago, and I
Yeah.
made amends. And
yeah, Billy just had his show about that. Richie came on and they talked about that. So that needs to be the mantra going forward. You know,
yeah, we got to grow. We've grown in 2 years. In 2 years, like somebody got on, but 2 years, this sport of RC drag racing has taken off bigger than the factories could even imagine.
right.
A year ago, they said, "Oh, it's a fad. I'm not going to build that, or I'm not going to put the money into this." Now their orders are stacked up, and they're scrambling, trying to get the stuff because
Right.
it's not slowing down.
Mm-mm.
Only the racers are going to make it slow it down, or the negativity. So
Yep.
share with your friends, make everybody go fast, because there's nothing better than like Vegas where there's 10 or 12 at 1.7, and then there's 30 that are right there knocking at the door that are 1.79 to 1.89.
Yeah.
Well, that makes one hell of a good event. It's no fun if you see two guys going 1.7. Well, let's call it 158 now.
Yeah.
What's the fun in that?
Yeah.
But let's see 50 guys show up at 1.6.
Yeah.
And let's see how intense it really gets when
Right.
every race is door to door and a photo finish, or you have to have a timer to even tell who won. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, have fun. And thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, man, it's been a lot of fun tonight. Thanks again. Thanks for coming on and being a part of this prep week, which is our best. I think it's turned into prep month. So we had to have we couldn't have had a prep month show without having the OG of prep, Sticky Icky and Kelly Ray on it. It wouldn't be legit if we didn't have you on.
I appreciate it.
Definitely thank you for coming on, and I'm honored to be the one that got to talk to you.
I'm glad it was you.
And so, but man, thank you again, Kelly. And we'll, so Rich, if you're listening, buddy, if you're back there in the Control Central, I think we're good. We want to say goodbye to everybody out there. Thanks for
watching, everybody.
Tune in next week, or no, tune in tomorrow. They're gonna do. I forgot who's on, but we'll have another prep company. They're coming out, and they're going to tell you about their prep. So and so on, and I think it's going on all week. So
if you don't have all the prep in your box, then you got to have it all.
You got to have it all. Yeah.
You got to have it all, because there's going to be that day where your shit ain't going to work.
Yep, and you got to find the stuff that does.
Yep.
Oh, all right, guys. Thanks again. Thank you much.
Bye.
Rich and Val, we're signing off.
Ciao.